I'm twisted right now. Yo, this is me, Smith.
This is Vi.
Multi-ENA podcast. We're here again with our peoples.
T-Till and dark-skinned Randy. Yeah. I said it.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to touch base on people embracing this single season. What do you think about that? Since that's the season you're in.
It's good. I've been in that season for a long time. That season, I feel like Game of Thrones, like, winter ain't come yet, man. It's been a long fucking season for me. God damn it, yo. When is it gonna end?
Listen, I'm with you, my brother. We here together. It's all right.
That come down, you know. Anyway, yo.
Single season is
no
here.
Idea what that means.
So what are you doing during your single season to try to prepare for winter?
What are you talking about?
What is a single
What do you mean
season?
single season? I'm not outside gathering nuts and fucking.
Aren't you? Oh, I'm sorry.
Grubs.
So single season. Well, single season is basically the time where you are no longer in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking dick.
Where,
I was hoping you wouldn't be outside gathering and
Yeah,
nuts.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Go ahead.
but you know, it's the time where you're no longer in a relationship and you're trying to get yourself together and do what you need to do for yourself before you get into a new relationship. So
Okay.
I like to call that the single season.
Can I just ask, did you coin that term? That's
No, negative.
Oh, okay. I've never heard it before. I just
That's
thought it
what
was.
term?
Yeah,
I thought you just
like,
made it up just now.
I mean, I've heard it be called single season. What have you heard it as?
I've never really heard that point really labeled. I guess I would say it's never really been a focal point of conversation. So I think that's why I was very curious to hear what the single season is, because off camera, I heard it and I thought it meant something different. So it was.
What did you think of it?
I thought it was the remix to Your Whole Phase.
What's a whole phase?
I don't know. That's what I really like to get more into that. I didn't know there was a remix already. Like I just got onto the first track.
Whole phase, I can tell you what a whole phase is.
Put me on, Smitty.
What's a whole phase?
A whole phase is when you're going out there and you get your fucking nut off.
Just having fun. Just
Yeah,
having
just having
fun.
fun.
Sexually having fun.
Yeah, you sexually having fun with
Okay.
random people, yo.
I need to
Sometimes
know. I need
one-night
to.
stands, sometimes threesomes, sometimes orgies. But you out there, doing your thing.
What was you gonna say?
But I needed that. I need the opinion of a woman. I would love to know because I've always heard it coming from women. So
I've heard a whole phase in a TV show called Insecure, which is where she literally just wanted to have fun and just have sex and just enjoy pleasures as far as physical and just, I don't know, I guess. I don't care for it, but
I feel like when you in a relationship for a long time, and depending on how the breakup was, you need. Well, I can't speak for everybody else, but I need. You need that phase to just
decompress.
Yeah, get all that out your system, and then you could reboot yourself.
What do you think about a single season?
Well, I think a single season could be very different. I think people skip the single season, so a lot of times it's like what I said in the first.
I agree.
In the first part was they go from relationship to relationship to relationship, from partner to partner to partner. Sleeping with this person, with that person, and to me, it's like they still have that dysfunction that they've had for how many years. A single season to me is when you have to take a break from everything.
Okay.
Like try to figure out what you want, because a lot of times when you go from person to person to person to person, there's no solution to the issues. There's no solution. There's no growth. It's just, oh well, I'm in my whole phase. I gotta do what I gotta do, and then normally you go from the whole phase to another relationship, right? And you carry the same stuff from a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, right? So to me, a single season is really just a single season. Single's one person, right? Single is one.
Where
right?
you focus on yourself.
Yeah, so when you really focus on yourself, detox from all the nonsense, from all the BS, right? And just focus on you, whether that be getting out of debt, making more money, figuring out ways to better yourself. That to me is the single season, because you by yourself. I think that could be the difference. I feel like where a lot of people skip that season because they don't even get to know themselves, but you're telling somebody else, yo, I love you, I want to be with you, but you don't even know that you love yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of feel like that's what I mean by like a single season where it's just like, it's just you and you focus on you, whether that mean getting a degree, whether that mean getting your degree, getting your money up, getting a job, you know what I'm saying?
Getting to, it's basically like bettering yourself.
Yeah.
Single season is basically bettering
Or
yourself.
rebuilding yourself. How about that? Rebuilding yourself from where you came from.
Yeah, because a lot of these things, people don't realize that a lot of these things are distractions. Whether that be a man or a woman, they're distractions probably from what you're really feeling. So you're out there doing the whole season, but a lot of times that's just to cover up the hurt and pain or shame that you feel from past things. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's just get away from all the distractions and actually feel the pain, feel the hurt.
Embrace it.
Embrace it and grow from it. You know what I'm saying? And then you can get back to doing whatever it is that you want to do. A lot of people skip that process of themselves and they just go from body to body to body, relationship to relationship to relationship.
I think that within itself is toxic, yo. How can
Exactly.
you get out of a relationship and jump back in another one? Like you didn't give yourself time to breathe. You still got the cologne of the last nigga on you, and you going to the next nigga.
Or the female, goddamn it.
Yeah, I mean,
Or the perfume of the female.
Yeah,
But you gotta understand, some people don't know how to be alone. Sometimes when you break up with someone, some people just want to pick up where that last relationship left off. You know what I mean? And they don't know how to just be by themselves.
I mean, I feel like you gotta let yourself go through that stage of the relationship, of the breakup. You know, what I mean,
The grieving process.
yeah, the grieving process. You know, the 5 stages. I don't know them by heart, but I know the last one is like you basically
Acceptance.
Hey, acceptance. There you go.
But I've seen relationships. I've seen people go from relationship to relationship mainly because they've been in that relationship, but they've been checked out of that relationship. You get what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they're just there in a sense, but they're also building a whole separate life. So before they pull the ripcord fully, I've seen that, and I guess that goes to what you're saying, the dysfunction of not healing, because you're leaving something that you're not really even like
Fully over.
fully even ending. You're not even like giving it its proper burial in a sense.
Yeah.
Like, so
Actually letting go.
Yeah.
And growing from what you let go from.
yeah, I'm just thinking
Let go
about,
of. Yeah.
thinking about how interesting that actually is to that situation. Like, if because the person believes they're going to be in a better situation, and I've been the person that's like, I don't think that's the move, buddy. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like you say, some people just can't realize it. Like, they don't realize.
Until it's too late.
Yeah.
And I think like the single season, it's like you said, it's just like growth. Like sometimes I don't need to be around or be up under somebody or always be involved with another person. Sometimes I just need to be with me, you know what I'm saying, and just learn me. Learn what I want, you know, like how do I know what I really want? How do I know when I grow? If I'm always up under somebody or quote unquote sowing some more oats, you know what I'm saying? Like all the time. You know what
I'm
saying?
sorry, I don't even know why I'm laughing. I'm sorry. It's the red cup. I'm sorry.
I feel like I get what you're saying at times with that, but I just feel like you could, because I feel like I learned who I was in terms of things that drive me and motivate me from the opposite sex, in terms of what I need from a woman. And I feel like there's plenty of other women in the world I could probably find that might be able to give that to me. But I found one that I feel like could give it to me, and I was able to grow with. So I've always believed in the, as I call it, the farm system, where you grow your relationship. Like, it should be,
System.
like, you shouldn't just pick up somebody that you never knew from nowhere and believe. And I know I could be wrong, like, or it can happen.
No, I already see where he's going.
You know what I
with
mean?
this.
I feel like it probably can happen for people. I'm not doubting it can't. But I do believe if you know the person, like their history, their background, like where they come from, like it kind of gives you a little bit more to stand on as you and that person grow together. So I just don't believe in I've been in a relationship. Put it to this way: I was in a relationship, left my relationship, and that's where me and my wife, who is my wife now, was able to like I said, grow together.
Grow from
So
the
it wasn't,
friendship to
yeah, it
a
wasn't so
relationship.
much like the, as you call it, the
Single phase.
I wasn't like out there like, oh, I gotta like do anything different. It was just more so, it wasn't me looking for a girlfriend. Like I didn't care about a girlfriend.
So what do you do? What are you doing now during your single season?
Well, I'm doing it right now.
Which is what, a podcast?
At the ENA podcast. That was so fucking corny. No, but seriously, you know, you gotta do things. I feel like do things.
No, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Me?
We're talking
Oh,
about
me?
you.
Me
What are
personally.
you doing?
All right, well, one of the things I'm doing, co-hosting the ENA podcast.
Okay, so you built something that you
Yes.
didn't have before. You want to start something new. Okay.
Yes, I'm also writing 2 stories right now that I'm trying to make into a web series. So I'm
Staying
doing
active.
See?
that, and I'm getting back into songwriting. So I'm just trying to,
Okay.
you know,
That's dope.
just give myself so much shit to do.
See-
I don't have to worry about.
The loneliness.
You're giving them all the
No,
credit.
no, no,
there,
no, no,
man.
no, don't say loneliness.
The distraction. It's a
The
distraction.
The distraction. I apologize.
That's the term, the distraction.
Okay.
Pussy definitely
Loneliness,
is a
like,
distraction.
I'm in a fucking window when the rain's coming down, like, all by myself. No, I'm not doing that.
What about you? What you doing in
Exactly. What the hell you doing, yo?
your phase?
During my phase, I started this podcast. I started learning how to edit so I can make movies. Like, since we're actually supposed to be.
All right, come on, chill out. Chill
Okay, I'm
out.
gonna shut up. So I want to make movies. I actually always had a story in mind. I started writing a story that eventually the story will turn into a series of books that I don't want to say I'm writing a book because I feel the pressure of a book, because most people know there are novellas, there are short stories, stuff like that. I want to write and see where it takes me. And the big picture is to turn it into a TV show. But anyway, so I've been working on just trying to get to know me. Like, I know I like me. I go out to movies by myself. I go to poetry spots, and I do different things by myself, and I'm just learning how to just be with me without having to be with someone else. But wait, what?
I gotta ask the man though. So is that one of the things that help your single phase, the ability to go to movies and dinners and things like that by yourself? Like
Well,
that?
I think it's different for everybody.
Okay.
I mean, to be
Thank you.
I
I'm
think
just
it's
not,
different.
listen, you do your thing. Look,
man.
dinner for one. Nigga lonely as hell over here. Like, my bad. I'm sorry. I wouldn't want to be your winner. It's just you, player? Just you? Damn. All right, what you want?
Listen, see, that's what's wrong. Don't let anybody make you feel like you cannot do something by yourself. Do not let the pressures of society make you feel like you have to stay at home if you don't have somebody else
You right.
to sit down with.
I go to the movie by myself all the time. I don't got a problem with
No,
that.
but some people feel like you're in the dark. But when you're in a restaurant, yo, fuck you,
Who goes to a restaurant by themselves though, man?
why not? I mean, you can sit out. You can go somewhere,
lunch,
go to
right?
a bar. You
Yeah,
can go to a bar and sit
for
down and
lunch
have a
when you-
drink.
when you work-
Why can't you have a meal?
No,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
lunch, totally. You're not going to dinner time by yourself, right?
Why not?
Nah, fam.
You want these cheddar biscuits? You know, is a guest coming? Would you know? You know.
I ain't letting
And that's a fucked up way to
I ain't letting you
do
get it off.
You always missing by yourself?
I'm not letting you
You
get it
trying to
off.
share?
Not at dinner time, B. During the day, for
Listen.
lunch, I totally respect anybody who's at work who wants to go to a restaurant and sit down and eat. Totally get that. But at nighttime, when you know everybody out with their families or on a date, don't you show your single ass over there and make my part of the restaurant lonely and depressing. Now we talk about your lonely ass at the table. Look at her. She eating all the croutons by herself. Oh my God. Babe, look at her phone. Like, you know how we are, man. Y'all
I mean,
wanna see
then you know what? If you ever see that, why don't you look over and say, "Hey, do you want to join us for dinner?"
Nah, hell no, because you by yourself, crazy.
She by herself for a reason.
You here alone. I don't want nothing to do with you.
Okay, yo.
Nuts.
Go on about a relationship. Oh my God, my man used to beat me. I can't manage
Hey, take it back. Wait, put it back over there.
Didn't I say you stop fighting? What's wrong with you, Sheila? Goddamn, man.
When it comes to single season, what is your advice to give to people about single season? What should they do? How should they go about it?
I mean, I think for me, it's just address your own demons, I guess. Like,
Ooh.
take the time, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to keep passing these dysfunctional things off to your future relationship, you know what I'm saying? And making other people uncomfortable with your mess. You know what I'm saying? I think just bettering yourself,
Okay.
addressing yourself, holding yourself accountable for the stuff that you mess up on. You know, I think a lot of times during breakups, we always focus on what the other person did. You know, and we make that a focal point of just, oh, what they did. But it's like, nah, like, what did you do? Now, how can I be a better person? How can I be a better man? You know, because they're going to do what they did. They did what they did. It's over. It's done. But what about me? Like, how can I become a better person? How can I become a better man based off of the things that I did? Because I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying? So even if it was primarily their fault, there's still some things that I could have done better. Right?
I'm noticing earlier it was their fault. Sometimes that's what y'all need to do too. Sometimes you need to notice a little earlier that person ain't for you. I think,
red flags type of
yeah,
thing?
like people give people too many chances, but I'm just saying, like sometimes you need to notice that person ain't for you. Like he's saying, everything he just said, I totally agree with. But you should also notice, like, no, not this one.
When you're with a female or vice versa, when you want to do whatever like that, because there's some bitch ass niggas out there that do this shit. If we go on a date, everything's good. We're going out we're going out, we're dating. Now we starting to fuck. Have sexual intercourse. Right? Out of nowhere, she's like, oh man, you gonna help me with my bills? Where did that come from, yo? Where did that come from? Right? It's an equal exchange, yo. Mm-hmm. You give up the pussy, I'm giving you the dick, boom. Right? It's not, you giving the pussy, giving the dick, right? Here's a bill on top of it. Where the fuck does bill come from, yo? I don't have Spectrum. I don't got Verizon. Like, what is going on, yo?
Okay, being that I'm the only woman here, this
Speak on it, queen.
Hold on. Some females. They should put a caption in that shit, yo. Some females. I don't want this fucking comedy shit going on crazy and shit, but some females.
as a female, I will say what I think. What I think is a man is supposed to provide. He is supposed to take care of his woman, and he should be that person that you can go to, especially if you are now in a physical relationship, that if you need assistance, they should be there to help. Yes, sir.
Can I say something?
Yes, sir. You over there in the white.
Thank you. I feel like your situation should be already taken care of prior to you meeting me. You shouldn't need me for anything. When I come along, I should be a plus. Right? So basically, just for example, oh my man, listen, that $150 bill.
Hold on.
That's gonna rape my pocket.
I might be wrong, but did you not post something that says, find a woman that you don't have to take care of and take care of her?
Correct.
So if a woman such as that comes into your life, are you going to pay a bill?
Eventually?
Eventually. So I guess it sounds like you're more upset if they're asking you to pay a bill instead of allowing you to pay the bill.
That concept is like this.
I'm just asking a question.
My thing is this: you meet a chick. If she's handling her own business,
Okay.
fine.
Is that when you'll pay the bill?
You want to do something? Put it this way: if I want to do something, let me do it.
So once again, you'll pay the bill when you see that she's already paying it. Is that what it is?
No, hell no. She's paying it. She's paying it. She's good.
All right, so at what point, because you already said eventually, so at what point do you feel like it's okay for you to pay a bill?
We moved in together.
You have to move in with someone to pay a bill?
That don't sound logic.
You looking at me like
That
that?
don't sound like common sense to you.
Just the way you responded to that was just like,
No,
okay, I was
common
curious.
sense. Like, hold on. Like, let me put it this way: I don't mind. Hey, babe, I'm kind of down. Can you help me? Oh, nah, I don't mind. I don't mind doing that.
Okay.
But every fucking month, babe, just gotta. Oh, all right. Hell, babe, again, like, you know what, your priorities is fucked up right now. Yo. Like, you can't be doing this. Or you're not.
But
like,
you're fucking her.
on a list of my bills, but my thing is this. All right, I'm fucking her, right? All right, she's fucking me. All right, what the fuck is she paying? Is she paying my Xbox bill? My PlayStation Network bill? My Netflix? Huh?
Okay. Once again,
This shit could be flipped around.
listen. Once
The
again,
same way I'm fucking her, she's fucking me. So my thing is this.
Apparently, it can't be flipped around.
Exactly, it can't be flipped around.
There's two things in this world that cannot be flipped around.
and what's that?
Men's roles.
Amen.
A man's role cannot be flipped. Because that's the one thing a woman will fight for every form of independence, other than the word a man should provide for me. Like, I'm not against it. I don't feel like there's any, but I realize like women will say not all women, because there's, like he said earlier,
Some.
there's two sides of this coin, because that's very true. But damn, now because when I bring it down to that, it goes back to talking about them type of women, like, because I feel like those type of women, you know, is a certain class of women that I don't.
What class is that?
A class of women that I feel like I don't really want to deal with.
So now I will say this: I'm not that type of woman. So
You're
to
not?
I'm not that type of
You
woman.
scoffed at the man a minute
Because
ago.
I was playing devil's.
Like, nah, that was emotion. Like, that was not.
I was playing devil's advocate. So to be totally honest, I can't speak for those type of women because I'm not that type of woman. I can only speak on the way that they have spoken to me.
Before we go any further, can we just keep it to what Smitty just said? Because you made a very good point. Because you
Which
asked
one?
him a question of, when is it okay for him to pay a bill?
Yes, I'm waiting for that answer,
I
sir.
told you the answer already.
He
When
gave
you
that
move
answer.
in, when you moved in.
When
with
is it
them.
okay for a man to pay a bill for you?
Okay, so I'll put it to you this way.
No, I'm not talking about once in a while.
No.
I'm talking about monthly.
No, I'm gonna tell you. I was with someone. I was in a relationship, and I was going food shopping. Literally, I was going food shopping. The man that I was with in a relationship with came with me food shopping, and while we were at the register, he paid. He paid for the food.
Okay.
So I was like, "You don't have to." He was like, "No, I want to."
Okay.
We weren't living together or anything. So I was like, "Okay, cool." Then the next 2 weeks later, he was like, "Hey, what you doing after work?" I said, "I'm going food shopping." He said, "Okay, I'll meet you." And he just started always paying the bill for the food.
Okay.
So I would cook dinner, he would eat, and the way he felt is, you're cooking, it's for you, your son. You always make sure that you leave aside for me. So I feel like I want to at least buy the food. So I never asked him to do it. He chose to do it. So that's why, I've never asked a man to pay my bill. I've always made sure my bills are paid on my own.
So then why the question? That question was such a good question, as if there's a specific
I was
time.
just asking a question. I was playing devil's advocate because of what you said. So because you said, why do women do this? And you said that you would pay it eventually. And I was just wondering, what does eventually mean? At what point?
Well, okay, so before the life coach answers, look, another regular nigga agree with the man over there, because I'm not paying no fucking bill until it's our bill. If it ain't our bill, I'm not paying it.
Well, this is how I see it. And this is just me, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. But when you're in a relationship, if your lights go out, don't you feel, I don't want to use the word obligated, but
If her lights go out, guess what I'm gonna tell her? Bitch, we should have moved in together and this wouldn't have happened. Like, if your lights go out and we're not at the point where we should have been moving in together, I need to reevaluate the person I'm with.
Yeah, yo. If your lights go out, you should say, yo, instead of buying that Michael Kors jacket, you should have been paying for the light bill.
If your lights is going out and I'm taking you on dates, you should have been like, hey, player, check this out. How about you give me that 125
and I'll cook.
and I'll cook and I'll keep my lights on. Something like, no, that doesn't, that's
Like,
why
something's not right.
I can't be paying your bills for you to get along in life while me and you are trying to figure out if we're going to get along in life. Like, I'm helping you along for the next man. Like,
and the last thing
I'm
I
cool
want
on that. I know that might be wrong.
Bring pussy in the situation, yo. When there's money involved, because now it's like
Pussy's the freest thing in this world, B.
now it's like, oh,
I don't know why
so,
people like keep acting like that wasn't the case.
Yeah. So now if you bring pussy in a conversation, now it's like, oh, so in order to fuck you, I gotta pay a bill? Oh, I ain't bet, man. How much your T-Mobile bill, Mike? 150. Shit, I ain't fat, yo. Hey, get in the room. Right? You know what position I want.
All right.
You already know what I like.
So now let's hear from the life coach. What do you think about this situation, sir?
Well, for me, I have a problem with entitlement in general. I think on both sides.
Yeah.
I have problems with men that feel like they're entitled to pussy all the time because they went on like a date or two. And I have a problem with women that feel like they're entitled to a man's money that they work hard for. I think we've gotten too far gone where it's like, oh, you owe me this because you did this. You owe me this because we did that. It's like, to me, that's super whack. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we become very prostitutionalized. You know what I mean? So it's like, because you give me sex, now I owe you money. So if that's the case, put it out there on the table. I got 100 right here so that we can get up and go home.
Let's make this simple.
You know what I'm saying? But then on the flip side to it, it's like there's men that feel like they're entitled to your body.
Yeah, like if
Right. So if I'm not entitled to your body, right? If I'm not, like, for facts, like, just because we go out on a couple of dates, am I entitled to your body?
No, you're not.
So it's the same thing. Like, you're not entitled to my hard-earned money. I don't even know if I'm gonna spend it on you yet. You haven't earned that yet.
That's what I'm saying.
If I like,
Ooh.
if for the same thing for a woman though, like if I haven't like earned, you know, that part where you say I'm not ready to do X, Y, Z, I respect that 200%. You know what I'm saying? But then you have to respect, like, people think that a man's money is just free for every woman that we date. Like, I date you, I date you, I date you. Now I have to go, oh snap, here's something for you, here's something for you, here's something for you. Like, as if I don't have bills, as if I don't have student loan debt, as if I don't work my tail off every single day just like you. While you sit and you save your money and you pocket your money and you have a fat bank account, I'm like this, okay.
But yet you
know what I'm
call me
saying?
broke and you don't want to
Right,
eat 2 for
right.
20 at Friday. I'm saying, B.
I just think that there's like a double standard. It's just like we're not entitled to certain things.
Okay.
Like, but I think on both sides we all feel like we're entitled to that.
And-
And because here's the thing, the most prized possession, quote unquote, for a man is his money, right? Which is false. But that's the stereotypical thing, fine. And the most prized possession for a woman is
Her pum-pum.
right, which is not true, but that's what it's on the table, right?
Okay.
So how do we now feel like we're so entitled to those things? You know what I'm saying? When we haven't really earned it. And a woman feels like, well, if I don't feel comfortable, I'm not giving it. And that's your choice. But if I'm not comfortable giving
You don't have to give it.
my money, then I'm not comfortable. And you have to respect that, because if you're a grown adult and you work and everything else, you have money too. Now, if I invite you on a date, that's something different. You know what I mean? Then I'm not paying. You know, I'm paying. Cool. And you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you're not entitled to what I earned, because I don't even know if you're worth that yet. Just like you don't know if I'm worth your body. You're trying to figure that out. And I'm trying to figure out if you're worth really investing that much of my hard-earned money too.
I get it.
And I
want
think
you.
that's what I'm saying. So on both sides, there's a lot of entitlement. And I think at some point we got to shut both of that down.
I've seen it a very interesting thing that I feel like in a situation, you, the woman, let's ask the woman.
Okay.
At what point, what restaurant is okay on the first date?
That's a real good question, man.
Is it really that great of a question, sir?
Yes, it is.
I don't know.
Cause you don't want to overdo it when she's like used to this shit. Like if you take her to like a nice 5-star restaurant, she's like, oh my god, this is first date,
Set the bar high, right?
right? Second date, you like, oh we have red lobsters.
Why okay, y'all keep saying red lobster like that shit is the bottom
No,
of the
that's what's the craziest part. That's what's
That's
the
what I'm
craziest
saying.
part.
Y'all keep trying to bring
You
that.
see, you're now saying red lobster's more up here, right?
I didn't say that.
So what are you saying?
The way that you guys are still talking
you
is as
put
if
red
that
lobster?
shit is down.
So where you put red lobster?
See, here's the thing. It depends on the person you're dealing with. See, I don't eat meat, so I'm a vegetarian. So when you're asking me, like, that's like saying if
Oh
you're a
my
steak
God.
eater, there's Del Frisco, there's
Yes,
Morton,
yes,
there's
yes,
Peter Luger,
yes,
there are
yes.
levels, there's STK. So I hear what you're saying, but it depends on the person.
But there's also, what's that place that got that big stupid ass steak that I actually like? Boulders Creek. Ever been to
Okay.
Boulders Creek?
Yes.
Boulders Creek actually has a really good steak.
You know that is a part of Red
really?
Lobster, right?
Get out of here, dude. No.
Yep, it is.
But has a really, really good steak.
Okay.
And I've had Roof Chris steak. I've had steaks. Boulders Creek.
Yeah, there are different levels to steak
Boulders
restaurants.
Creek. But that's what I'm saying. Like,
So that's why I said it
anyway,
depends
the
on
point I was
the
trying to get to
person.
about the first date is, isn't it about getting to know a person?
Yes, it is.
So why does it matter the level of restaurant you
Sweetheart,
go to?
I think it's a beautiful thing if it's a summer day, you get a picnic basket and a blanket and you go to a park. It
Picnic
depends
basket
on
and a
the
blanket
person.
is about as much as me taking you someplace else because we're fucking getting a picnic basket from. What are you talking about? I'm in the hood, man. I get a JanSport and if that's cool with you, can I do it with a JanSport?
My point is, it
You know what I'm saying?
depends. It depends on the
Get a
person.
couple heroes from the Ox.
You know what I mean? But that's what I mean. I feel like that should be a first date. I feel like first dates should be done in places where
You can speak
very
and talk.
limited amount of money is being spent.
No, see, it's not about the money. It's about the time and the thought that you're putting into
If
it.
we on a
Because
park
if you're
eating
on a
ice cream,
first
there's
date,
no
you
money
should be
being
getting
spent.
to know somebody.
what
So
I
it doesn't
mean.
have to be a restaurant. It can be a walk in the park.
Yes.
I've gone on what?
You see, but again, that goes back to, it's kind of like what I was saying in part one, where it says you don't know what that person's expectations are. Everybody has different expectations. So while you talking to this person on the phone, you gotta want to get to know
Do your homework.
what their expectations are, because some women say, picnic and all that stuff is cute, it's good, that's what I want. And then some women is like, excuse me?
Nigga, what?
You want me to sit
in the park?
here in the grass?
Del Frisco's, bro, like you better come up that, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think it just depends on the kind of person.
You gotta do your homework. You gotta do your
And
research.
I feel like that's what that's how you block your blessings. I feel like thinking you deserve Del Frisco's on your first date from a guy who's probably the perfect guy for you, but that guy prefers to take you on the walk because he's been burnt by taking chicks to Del Frisco's on the first date. Like, it doesn't work out for me every time and now the one chick that probably wants Del Frisco's on the first date, he doesn't take her there because now he's tired of it, and she wants Del Frisco's and now she's in the park, but they work well together, but neither one of them know that because they're too busy being stuck up and upset about a situation.
I hear you.
We focus on the wrong things when it comes
Absolutely.
to, like, because we want to have stories to tell our friends after. You know
Yeah,
what
or
I'm saying?
photo ops for
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah, in which the person's not going to be in it, but it's going to be you at Del Frisco's or wherever.
The
case
plate.
is. Yeah, you know what I'm
So
saying?
then that
and then you're
goes-
gonna add the location, it's going to say Del Frisco's, but we're going to be like, oh.
You know, it's a setting in your camera to take a picture of food now.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a plate, yeah.
And the certain cameras,
It
certain
says
phones.
food, yeah.
It just says food.
Mm-hmm.
They know what they doing. Me
a
neither.
food porn person.
Me neither.
I'm like,
It's like, okay, while you're eating something, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, that shit is ridiculous.
But I will say it goes
are we all the
into-
same here about that though? But sorry to cut you off. Relationships, if you're on a date with somebody, how y'all feel about the people that take pictures of their food and all that?
I hate that shit though.
It's
I
I don't like it when it's like, hold on, I need the perfect. I've done it because like I went on a date and we went to a nice restaurant, but it was the fact of I was in a new restaurant, I was in a new state. And
You realizing it now? Realizing it now, right?
and it was the fact of it was just like, oh wow, I've never been here before. I probably won't come back here again. And I thought the presentation was nice, and I wanted to capture the moment, not just the meal, but the moment and who I was with and stuff like that. So I took a picture.
Of the plate or the person you were with and everything? Okay.
Both. It
Just
was of
making
the
sure.
plate and of the person. But I feel like when people are doing it just so, oh, I got to get this and share it, it had nothing to do with social media. It actually had to do with the moment. So once again, it always goes back to the person you're dealing with
The intention.
and their intentions, yes. Now, with that, I wanted to kind of segue into society and society's pressure when it comes to relationship. How do you guys feel about that? And I say that to say sometimes I feel like people put pressure on people and don't even realize it. Like, oh, when are you guys gonna have a baby? Oh, when are you guys gonna get married? Oh, you've been single for so long. When are you gonna find somebody and stuff like that? Like, people put pressure on you to make you feel like you're on some kind of a time limit or a time kind of line or something like that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Perfect sense. I think I hate societal pressures because I think we don't know the damage that we do to people. I think a lot of people are suffering from a lot of depression because of societal pressures. I think, like when people talk about the whole kid thing, right? So like you don't really know that behind closed doors that woman has had 5 or 6 miscarriages already. Like they've been trying and been very unsuccessful, and they're already depressed about it. And now you in their face asking about how many kids they're gonna have, when you're gonna have kids.
Or maybe the person they're with doesn't want kids. And now it's already a fight in the household about children, and they're already married, and that's something that she just wishes that she had a conversation on before they tied the knot. Like, and you never know.
But I think it's just unfair in general for women to be put under such pressures. And it's just because it's like I said, you don't know what somebody's going through or the pain that they've already been going through. And like I stopped a long time ago, like asking women like when you're gonna have kids, when you're gonna have children. I just think it's unfair because I think a woman's value system isn't when they get married or how many children that they can bear. A woman's worth is so much more. And the same thing with men. I think same thing with societal pressures, like when you're gonna go get that Benz, or when you're gonna open that business, or when you're gonna do this. And it's like a lot of this stuff, and it's just like, man, I'm trying. You know what I'm saying? I'm working. I'm hustling. You know what I'm saying? It's just, to me, it's just a lot of societal pressures that causes a lot of depression in a lot of people, because there are a lot of people that's working and trying to achieve these things. And for society, it's like, if you don't have these things
by this point in time,
then you ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then they tie that in with your worth, and now you think you're worthless because you don't have these by a particular time. Disney sold you a story. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't true.
Yeah, they sure did.
What I'm saying? And they told you about relationships. They told you about Prince Charming, but they didn't really tell you about real relationships. You know what I'm saying? That the guy that you're dating may not be perfect. Everybody wants to be Michelle Obama, but don't nobody really want to put in the work that she did with Barack Obama. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't perfect at first. Like, he didn't have like $1 million, $3 million in the bank, $20 million in the bank.
He wasn't.
He was a regular dude that was really grinding, right? Mm-hmm. She saw the potential. You know what I'm saying? And he saw obviously the same thing in her. You know what I'm saying? Look at where they're at right now. You know what I'm saying? But people don't want that. You know what I'm saying? They want the fast food. They don't want the home cooked meal. They want the fast food. They want the Wendy's. 5 minutes, man, we here. Like, everything is supposed to happen right now because society says we live in a right now generation. Like, right now.
What about you? About societal pressures?
I don't really conform to pressures from society, I feel, personally.
It's good.
I try hard to stay, fight it, actually, go against it. At times, I think I try too hard, but that's more so my thing because I just don't like that box. In a lot of ways, I don't like the rules. A lot of rules that we all live by, I'm not a fan of because I'm like, how did you? Who tells you? Who gave you the right to tell me this is that or that is this?
I agree. I'm a red shirt at a white party, so I get it.
Well, yeah. I'm not the red shirt at the white party. I'm definitely in all white, but I get what you mean. I think, that's where I would stop at the party.
But it's like, even if, it's almost like this whole Valentine's Day thing, for example. I know it's a bullshit holiday. Hear me out. I know it's a bullshit holiday. I know it's for the candy companies, it's for the Hallmark cards, for the restaurants to get money because they jack up the prices, roses and flowers, all kinds of flowers jack up the prices. And even though I know it's not a real holiday, because of how society makes it out to be, the fact that if I don't have someone to spend it with, it makes me feel less than. It almost makes me feel like, well, shit, you ain't got nobody? That's a damn shame, type of thing. So it's like, even when you try to fight against it or try not to pay it any mind, sometimes because you're around it so much, it still somewhat a little bit gets to you.
I know somebody right now that was like, yo, listen, he has to work critically late, on tomorrow or Valentine's Day. And so he set something up for a girl for the next day, and the girl was like, oh, so am I your side chick?
Because they say February 16th is the side chick day.
And he was like, yo, legit, I'm gonna send her flowers, bro. I'm gonna send her flowers on Valentine's Day, but I gotta work, and we gonna have Friday, and we gonna have the weekend, and da-da. He's like, he's not my side chick, but I got stuff, that's not what really matters.
That's literally a good joke, though. It started as a good joke. Side chick day, the 15th beat.
Yeah, the next day is side chick day.
But no, it was a joke.
Oh, it was?
But people took it serious. But people took it to another level.
A comedian's joke, and it's now become like law. Like we all know this now. Like if you try to do something on 15th, a chick is looking at you funny.
Or even the day before.
But that's what I'm saying. These are the things that like we
Associate.
yeah, like out of nowhere you
Doesn't
get a
make
joke,
sense.
picks up, especially
Steam.
with the internet, picks up steam and becomes reality. Like you can't do something on the 15th with your main chick. You wildin', like.
How do you feel about societal pressures?
Man, fuck them.
Okay, that's a lot.
I agree with Randy, man, when he said you can't go by it. You know, oh, at this age I'm supposed to have this. At this age I'm supposed to have that.
Mm-hmm.
Because when like put it this way, like in high school, you have all the admiration, you have all the dreams. Like, oh man, yo, when I get this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. When those things don't start happening, you get disappointed in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You get depressed. You know. Good thing I'm a pessimist.
But I think like in society for men, they put that pressure on you. Like you have to
Facts.
have that 6-figure job, that 6-figure salary, that 7-figure salary, or whatever the case is, because you're not anything unless you have that.
Because you're the provider.
Because you're the provider, right? And that's what the opposite sex wants, right?
Yeah.
And that's your value system, right? And I think
Yeah.
that's the biggest problem, because now men do things by any means now to try to go out and get that dollar, and that makes them feel fulfilled. And
Okay.
many times they feel like now that they can take that dollar and say, hey, this is what's valuable. You know what I'm saying? This is what makes me valuable, and I can do whatever I want with it. Now, this is the only thing that matters. It's the same thing with women and bearing kids and having marriage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why you get married to folks that you're not supposed to get married to, because just to say, hey, society says now, I have the ring.
I was married
so
now.
now
I
I'm
was
good.
married now.
I got the pictures. I have everything else. Like, I'm totally set. And no, deep down, you're unhappy because you know that this is not the real guy, but you settle because society says this is what you're supposed to do by 32 or 33, right?
Yeah.
And then you lay down with somebody and say, hey, you know what? Well, clock's ticking. Gotta lay down with somebody, and then your life is ruined. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you know, it's just a lot of these societal pressures really kind of affect people in a very negative way, either with depression or with the outcomes of their life. But nobody gives people the real honest truth about love and marriage, right? How much work it is. They sell you the dream. Disney sells you the dream. They sell you the glass slipper. This is what you're supposed to have.
Yeah.
Well, first comes love, then comes marriage. They teach you that when you're freaking 3 years old. Like, yo, first comes love, then you learn the whole
And
song,
the man
right?
is there to save
Right.
you and protect you.
There comes the baby
and
in the baby carriage, right? But my thing is, nobody told you how hard it took, or like the hard work it takes to have a successful marriage. Nobody told you that. Nobody told you what it took to have a successful marriage. They told you the end result, and you thought that was going to be the beginning of the story.
What's going on nowadays in relationships is a lot of dysfunction.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of dysfunctional kinds of relationships.
Like physical occasions.
I mean,
Well,
So-
okay.
so like the-
Not everything is physical.
Yeah.
Some things are emotional. Some things are, you know,
Verbal,
let's
emotional.
tackle on whatever you feel dysfunctional relationship means to you.
Well, to piggyback off of what you said was just about some people need to get out of these relationships sooner than later, and I always say that as well, to notice the red flags, because not everything is just a potential.
And it's funny when you say the red flags. I feel like when you're out of one relationship, you have your single phase to where you realize what you did wrong, which you probably didn't realize. So now moving forward to a new relationship, you know what to look out for. That's how the red flags, I think, sometimes will come up and you're not ignoring it because now you're a little bit more wiser.
Yeah, I think it depends on what your goals are. Like, some people don't even really look at themselves like as if they could ever do any wrong. It's like me, moi, like I did something wrong.
Okay.
No, he messed up, she messed up, and I could never do anything wrong. You know, it's all about
get it,
them. It's
right.
all about them. And then you make the focus on them. And that ties along into the closure part. Like, you're waiting on them for closure because they did you wrong, and you need closure from them when you need to give yourself closure. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's just accountability.
I saw a meme once that said I had to accept the apology I never got.
Yep.
And I was like, ooh, that's deep.
It's real deep, yo.
Yeah, I had to say it in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 200% facts. I think a lot of times we block our own blessings and we block our own progressions while we're waiting on somebody else to give us the answer that we already know. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know what it is. And even sometimes we're waiting on closure, and at the end of the day, we know that what they're going to tell us is not even the truth. So at some point, like, we really have to be our own closure. It's okay to give yourself closure and just move on and say, hey, it didn't work. Just chalk it up to whatever it is, man, and move forward.
Charge it to the game, right?
I know a lot of people are going to say I'm wrong for that, but if you get beat
What?
the third time you get
Are you
beat,
talking about beating?
What?
yeah,
Like,
as a
what?
woman, physical altercations and relationships.
Oh, we escalated. Okay.
The third time you get beat, I think that's all on you, B. I feel like the first time you could think like, I feel the first time a woman could go, okay, he might be a little off.
We just,
Okay.
We just
Right?
escalated. Okay.
I
So
feel
it's
like-
almost like first time, shame on
Yes,
you.
I feel like a woman has the
Second
right to
time,
say,
shame on me.
the second time she gets beat, it's like, yo, you should have known now that this nigga's liable to swing.
Okay.
The third time you get beat, it's like, yo, fam, you should have left the second time. Why you still telling me he beating you?
Like it's understandable to
Like,
give a reasonable doubt. for the
Totally
first time.
understand the first one because I've seen chicks like, oh, I didn't want to leave because I loved them. Get that. I get that.
But after that second time beat, that's it.
Come
That's
on,
all right.
like
That's
he
it.
clearly likes to be on you at a point. Like you got to make a decision here. Like it's about you.
I don't want to laugh. I don't want to laugh. I don't.
No,
I don't want to laugh.
laugh. Society has made it to where you cannot judge the woman no more for sticking around for ass whoopings.
But here's
I don't
the thing.
agree with that.
Well, I don't think it's just that black and white. I think a lot of times there's
I don't want to laugh. Shut up.
There's deep-rooted issues that there's layers to this whole problem. Though.
I
There's
know.
layers, and there's reasons why people stay in domestic abuse. You know what I'm saying?
I
There's-
mean, I
there's
hear,
layers.
I
you know
hear
what
what
I'm
you're saying because
don't want
I've
to
been a
scare you.
victim of domestic abuse.
And how many times you got beat?
Oh.
You can't say that and then get mad at me when I ask a question. How many times you got beat? You said you was in it. How many times you got beat? I need to know before you decided, yo, I'm wildin'. How many times was it?
I would say 2 times.
And then you realize he's wildin'.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is, I understand, but it took me a while to find my
A
exit.
while or two. Let me ask what you
I'm
got.
just saying that when I was in that situation, I realized the first time it was like, that really just like, did that just happen? Like, seriously? Okay, emotions got, you know, I can't.
Trying to be serious. Motherfuckers is laughing.
And mind you, I'm laughing at myself because I've survived it. So I feel like if I'm going to laugh at my own craziness, then I have all the right to. So I can laugh at it because I survived it. The first time I literally was like, yo, this shit really just happened. Like, my nigga. Like, not even to say it like that, but yo, he hit me. Like, it's almost like you got to ask yourself, like, did this nigga just hit me? But anyway, I went through it. And I was just like, okay, maybe it was because of what happened. But after that, and it happened again, I was now looking for my exit strategy.
Well, I think there's
But everyone's situation is different because when there's children involved, usually when it comes to domestic violence, it doesn't start physical, it starts emotional. They get you away from your family, they get you away from your friends, so now you're more dependent on them. So now it's layers and layers. The physical is not always the first step. And that's what people don't understand. The layers have been dug before the physical. And once the physical takes place, it's almost like, it's not that it's too late, but it's a little harder to get out that hole.
it's that's 200% true. I think there's so many different layers to
Yeah.
domestic abuse. That so many layers that we don't even know. That can stem from childhood. That can stem from the things that you've seen with your mom, your
Because you
dad.
blame yourself.
Things that maybe have happened to you as a child. I think, when it comes to that, it's a tough spot. Like, of course, we want you to say, yo, listen, when is enough enough? But when it comes to physical abuse, it's more mental than physical. It's 200% more
Definitely.
mental than physical.
And
so,
you know what?
So like you may want to leave, but then there's reasons mentally and emotionally why you stay and why you feel like you cannot get out. Maybe your mother got abused. Maybe you got abused when you were 4 or 5 years old. You know what I'm saying? So I think
And then even after it's all said and done, it's really the emotional factor that you're trying to overcome before you can move on from it.
Okay.
You need to get help. I think there's some point where you do need to get help, and it's not just I can just get up and leave. Like you need to go see somebody.
What happens if 10 years from now, a study comes out and says, yeah, we were wrong. All you had to do is get up and leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, because my thing is, it's become a thing where everything is this. It stems from ass whooping is an ass whooping. Like to me, like there's but so much pain you should be able to take before you look at your capture, before you look at however that person is that is beating on you. There has to be a point where you're like, yo.
But everybody's capacity is different, though.
Yeah.
Everybody's capacity for abuse is
That's why I say after
completely
3,
different.
It ain't on me no more. Like after 3, I
After 3,
can't help you.
After 2, I feel like you should be looking for your exit strategy.
But
As
meaning,
much as you
okay,
can.
so you just said after 2 you're looking for exit strategy. On the 3rd one, I am still trying to be your exit, right? But on the
Okay.
4th, I'm like, yo, my nigga, stop calling me. You like this. You like you're
I see what
into
you're
this
saying. I see
now.
what you're saying.
Every week you cannot call me telling me he's beating you, and I'm like, yo, leave, and you're like, I can't. Yes, the fuck you can. That's what I mean. Like, I feel there has to be a point where people start accountability once again, taking accountability of your own life and what's happening around you. The R. Kelly doc where that woman's 30-something talking about he didn't do nothing to you, you old bitch. You flew to him and flew back when you was done. Like, you take accountability for your choices in certain situations. That's just me. Like, it's a bit crazy to always just blame it on other things than the people involved in the situation. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I'm all for accountability, 200%. But I think when it comes to whether it be
I know y'all gonna
physical
kill me
abuse?
on Twitter for this too, but I don't really care. I don't give a damn. Sorry.
physical abuse, emotional abuse, whether it be sexual abuse, I think it all stems from somewhere that most of us don't understand unless we're in it. Sometimes you can't get over it physically until you can get through it mentally. I think a lot of times it takes more.
see what you're
It takes more of mental fortitude to say I need to get out than just say, oh, I just physically just want to stop getting beat. It's like, no, it's the mental is
I see what you're
affecting the
saying.
way that you think about the physical.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Because that person has an emotional and a mental hold on you that is keeping you there physically.
I see what
you
you're
know what I'm
saying.
saying? So it's not just, okay, I just don't want to get beat anymore, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to just get up and go. It's not as simple as ABC.
Well,
it's not.
the reason why I'll kind of agree with you now, because the further I think about it, I feel whatever that mental thing is you're speaking to has to affect your fight or flight thought process. Because if you're getting your ass beat and you don't want to run or you don't want to fight back, there is something wrong with you. That's what I mean. Like, how many times can you be put in danger in that point to you're being attacked before your natural instincts makes you A, defend yourself, or B, run?
But here, now you're thinking about it as if there's only 2 options. There is a third option.
What's the third?
Nothing.
And now I'm giving him credit
Right.
by saying that has to come from the mental hurt, which now has to affect those 2 options to where
Yeah.
your brain isn't even clicking to fight or run.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because I hear what you're saying. There has to be some kind of mental thing. And if I'm like, all right, if I want to give it to that, your natural instinct comes fight or run. Naturally.
And most people fight, but the difference is they'll physically fight. So it's like I'm gonna box you, you gonna box me, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna still stick with you mentally and emotionally, and I'm gonna still.
No, but some women don't even physically fight back. Is
Some
also
do.
my point. Like I hate to say that, but like some women don't physically fight back. You know what I mean? Not all. I'm just saying some. And it just goes back to the point of just not understanding how you don't leave. But I get you. My bad.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
get
gonna be long-winded.
Well, I'm definitely going to put on the bottom, please, if you know anybody that's going through any kind of domestic violence or anything, please give them this number. Please help them if you can. And I understand if you've already reached out once or twice, and at this point you feel like there's nothing else you can do. At least you tried.
I'm not saying beating on bitches or beating on niggas is appropriate. That's not my point. Just to be clear, I do not support domestic violence in any way. Just saying, ladies, leave. That's all my point was.
It basically put on the week. Legit. And the whole fact you're talking about is basically like if they beat them and then, you know, after they finish, you know, putting the bruises and all that stuff, they basically say like, oh, I hope they change. They want them to change. So that's why they stick
They
around.
hope it gets better.
Yeah. Basically that.
I think when it comes to dysfunctional relationships, let's just say put physical abuse aside, even just regular dysfunctional relationships, I think these are things that red flags that you should know. You know what I'm saying? Just notice them early. It's like you said, you know what I'm saying? Like if you see something that's not with your non-negotiables, you gotta get out. Even if it means you're gonna be lonely for a couple months.
And be mindful of dysfunctional relationships, like you said, putting domestic violence aside. Dysfunctional relationship is not feeling like someone is putting you first, feeling like you're the side person, feeling like you're not priority, feeling like it's not going anywhere. Like there's many different kinds of dysfunctional relationships.
My ass starting to hurt. So yeah, okay, we
All right, so we're gonna wrap this up.
I ain't even hit it like that, yo. But God damn, man.
But God ended up Smitty.
Yo, I didn't know I had fucking ass muscles like this, man. Because these shit is hurt.
Okay, so I just want to say thank you, Terrence, T-Till. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you, Randy. I definitely appreciate your perspective on things. And you want to wrap this up with a quote? Sounds like a no.
Nah, I really don't have no quote, man. I really don't, man.
Well,
why fit in when you're meant to stand out?
Okay. So thank you so much for tuning in.
That works.
Please comment. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Have a good one.